What's happening, YouTube? Jonathan Pariente, The Education 10 here, coming at you guys with another video. I want to ask you guys to please continue to check and subscribe to my channel for more YouTube videos. Well, what a day we had so far. The first couple days now of the free agency period in the NBA. Wow, major free agencies have already happened. Big signings have taken place, and well, if you're the two teams in New York, boy, did you have two very opposite stories on both ends of the spectrum. Well, for the new Brooklyn Nets, they signed Kevin Durant, they signed Kyrie Irving, and DeAndre Jordan. Something to really not only boost that team in Brooklyn, it's going to not only bring fans to the Barclays Center, but now the Nets are going to go from just a playoff team last year to a possible title contender this year. Not only do you add 3 All-Stars to this team of the Nets, you still have Spencer Dinwiddie, you still have Karis LeVert, you still have Jared Allen, you still have a lot of good young players on this roster to go along with the stars. The key will be, though, for me, how well they work together. And for the Nets now to have made this deal, there's going to be definitely a lot of expectations. And I'm going to get into both teams here, and, you know, I'm going to kind of weigh the pros and cons of both teams and their decisions with the free agents that they've signed. For the Nets, they wanted to go all out, and they wanted to go all in. And now by getting Durant, you sign him to 4 years, as you did Kyrie Irving, and you add DeAndre Jordan in there to really make a good nucleus with this young team that the Nets now have to go along with Karis LeVert and Dinwiddie, etc. But now the expectations to win are going to be at an all-time high. You're not going to have Durant for the first year of that 4-year contract. He is recovering from a torn Achilles tendon that he suffered during the NBA playoffs. Most players never come back the same from that injury. Durant might be an exception, we'll see. But most don't come back from an Achilles at nearly what they used to be. Kyrie Irving already had a falling out with Boston. Now he's from New York. He's a Jersey boy. So do I think he'll be able to blend in New York? He should. But the fact that he let the Boston media get to him a little bit there and he wanted out of Boston as soon as possible, is he going to be able to handle New York just as he handled Boston? Never always been one of the greatest team players sometimes, as Kyrie. He has been known to be kind of an all-about-him personality, and after he left with LeBron James, he tried to be the guy, and it did not work when he went to Boston. Now he's going to play alongside Kevin Durant, so that won't work with Kevin Durant, but will the two of them work together? That remains to be seen. But the Nets are very serious now about being a playoff contender and being a title contender. They want to be the next NBA champions. We'll see where that takes the Nets, as so far, on paper, the Nets won this free agency period, hands down. Now we have to go to the other side, and, well, if you are a Knicks fan, as I am, you know, James Dolan gave them some bombastic boasts of, oh, they're going to swing for the fences, they're going to get big names. They got rid of Kristaps Porzingis, they got rid of dead weight on their team, and now they're going to have the money to go after free agents. And, well, all the Knicks did was throw their cares away, and they threw their cares down the Hudson River and sunk to the ocean deep. James Dolan will officially go down as the worst owner in NBA history. I'm very sorry. But You open your mouth. You don't even care about this team. And you didn't even bother. You didn't even bother to offer Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. You didn't even bother to offer them the max offer for a deal to go to the New York Knicks. You let him walk. Someone else took him. That's the epitome, New York Knicks fans, of James Dolan. And the whole shebang about him has really pretty much been exposed. He doesn't care about winning. He's all about ruining this franchise. And you know what? Why would players want to play for this team right now? Knicks fans, I'm sorry you've been put in this position. For James Dolan, the only prayer I think he better have is that the Nets never make the playoffs in any of the 4 years or don't even win the finals in the 4 years that they have Durant and Kyrie Irving. Because now the Nets have locked those guys in for the prime of their careers. They're both of them are now about in their 30s, going to be 35 or so when their contracts are up. And the only thing now that saves James Dolan from being the complete laughingstock of New York City, that he already pretty much is, the Nets pretty much now own New York. The Brooklyn Nets, they've taken over the city now. I'm sorry. The Knicks are not that feared team anymore. Not that they've ever been. But you just allowed the Nets to take Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving because the Knicks didn't want to pay them the money. The Knicks didn't want to offer Durant the highest money because, now they fear. Now, while I understand he has the Achilles injury, you still don't stand pat. If you're all about changing the culture of this team, this was the culture change move that you should have made. Instead, who do the Knicks end up getting? Well, the Knicks ended up getting Julius Randle. Signed him to a few years, fine. You get Bobby Portis. Who's Bobby Portis? And you get Taj Gibson. Not exactly players that are going to light up your scoreboard, The direction now the Knicks are pretty much going is to develop their young talent. And not that I say that's a terrible thing, but when you could have signed a big name to help mentor these kids, that's where I have a problem. Now, while the Knicks have more of the future in their hands with younger players and, the sky's the limit for a lot of them, RJ Barrett's going to need time. Mitchell Robinson's only got 1 year down. He's going to need more time to develop. Kevin Knox only has a year down. He's going to need time to develop. And he missed most of a chunk of last year. And yes, you're going to get Julius Randle, a good scorer. But it's not who the Knicks were trying to get. They wanted to get Kemba Walker in addition. They wanted to get Durant and Kyrie. And look where all those guys signed elsewhere because they didn't want to play for James Dolan. And the reality, Knicks fans, is going to be another few years of futility. Who knows if they're going to even have another winning season in 20 years, let alone they haven't had one in almost 10. But right now, as Knicks fans, we pretty much just now have to be patient and hope that the Nets' moves are going to flame out on them, which we'll see. I mean, just because they got Durant, just because they got Kyrie doesn't mean it's guaranteed that the Nets are going to win the whole thing. It doesn't guarantee anything. The Nets did lose D'Angelo Russell, and that's going to slightly hurt them a little bit. Can you imagine if Russell stayed and then you got the two big scorers alongside him? That net team would have been unstoppable. But now you lose D'Angelo Russell to the Warriors. You're going to have 1 year with no Durant, so Kyrie Irving has to pretty much be the leader of this team, and that failed miserably when he was with Boston. So You better hope it doesn't fail in Brooklyn, because that New York media will eat him more alive than the Boston media did. The littlest mistake that Kyrie makes, the whole New York media is going to be all over him. For the Knicks right now, maybe it's better that they play second banana and just play under the radar for a little while, because now the Nets are going to be the talk of New York. All the pressure is going to be on them. The Knicks are going to now be a team with nothing to lose now. And sometimes teams with nothing to lose are more dangerous than teams with everything to win, that they need to do everything to win. The Knicks now can kind of bide their time, develop their young talent, and kind of see where it takes them. And who knows, in 4 years, maybe R.J. Barrett will reunite with Zion Williamson, and maybe they'll play together on the Knicks as well. Kawhi Leonard still hasn't been signed by anyone yet, but it's possibly rumored he'll go to L.A. He's from California, so it would only make sense if Kawhi were to go there. And you already will add him to a Lakers team that has LeBron and Anthony Davis, which is going to be insane. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is the NBA of today. It's not the 90s anymore. It's not the Jordan era. This is the Superteam era. It pretty much was the Superteam era beginning with 2008, and this is more of now a revamped version of the Superteam. Stars wanting to play with other stars, wanting to play together to win a ring. Analytics, that's the story of today's NBA. And listen, I feel for some of these younger teams that really can't compete with these bigger teams unless you have a big star. Or two. But this is the NBA of today, and until the Knicks and until James Dolan leaves, this Knicks team won't be relevant for maybe another 30 years. I'm sorry. And I'm not ditching the Knicks. I want all of you to understand that I am not ditching the Knicks, but this is painful for all of Knicks Nation with what happened in the trade deadline. This is a painful reminder of who the Knicks have been for the past 10 years. And sadly, as long as Dolan's around, that's what they're going to continue to be. But let's see what happens with the Knicks' young talent. Let's see what happens for the 2019-2020 season. Let's see. John Perriente, The Execution 10, saying bye for now.